Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Contractors and Machinery. We are your one-stop engineering and consultancy company with experience locally, regionally, and internationally. We provide excavation services and engineering consultancy, construction of residential and commercial structures, civil works such as drainage, retaining walls, roads, concrete patio services, paving services, concrete driveway services, remodeling and renovation, painting services, styling services, and so much more. Ask about our rental services of excavators, heavy equipment, metal formwork, and steel prop. Contact us today via telephone number 537-9675 or email infinitecontractors19@gmail.com.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches, and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen, Guess, and Klein, and G-Shock, all at the best prices in Grenada. We also buy scrap gold and offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit our brand new remodeled store or call us on telephone number 414-3114, 232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only. All right, and of course we have to say hello and welcome to everyone tuned in to another Mikey Live program. My name is Mikey Hutchinson and we are coming to you live from the Spice Isle of the Caribbean, that is Grenada. Well, it feels good to be back in Grenada. Yeah, boy, just different, you know. So yeah, and thank you for, tolerating us for the past few with our makeshift studio setup. All right, but here we are back in the Isle of Spice where everything is beautiful and nice. And of course, we've got a few things to tell you about tonight, boy. All right. By the way, we had to say big up to all the people who are outside of Grenada who are Grenadians. I met a lot of all you. You know, we know that you're there. You know, I mean, we know. That's why we talk about you all the time. So the first time viewers, hello. And to the usual suspects, those of you who are always on the minute, well, we're saying hello to you and thank you as well. Let's talk about what's going to be in the news. Delma Thomas is appointed to serve as the Minister for Youth and Sports. All right. And of course, well, she also carries the responsibility for another ministry. We'll talk to you about that in a while. Police, they are talking about an apparent drowning in St. Mark. We'll talk to you about that in a while. And the criminal assizes will begin tomorrow. And of course, we will tell you what the incidents of sex crimes are when we come back. It's crazy, as usual. Every time the assizes come up, we get those numbers, and it's just troubling. Grenada Green Group, they've collected quite a bit of bottles in their bottle initiative. We'll talk to you about that as well. And what else? Hey, by the way, the Division of Youth, they are now talking about what we call the inaugural National Youth Election. All right. national youth elections. And of course, we'll talk to you more about that in a while as well. So stay tuned for that. What else? Well, we have a couple of things to talk to you about in the business. Of course, we've got a new principal at the T.A. Marisha Community College. And we have something for you from the Ministry of Agriculture as usual. So we're going to be talking about all that when we return on tonight's Mikey Life program. My name is Mikey Hutchinson. And of course, we got to let you know that the headlines is brought to you through the kind compliments of Courts, Grenada Limited, Digicel, NAWASA, Real Value, IGA, Supermarket, Superb Distributors. Of course, we also have on board the Axel Finance and all our other sponsors. Blessings to you. We're coming back in a moment. When we come back, it will be real news in all Lily Lolo. And don't forget, someone sharing tonight's program will receive some free credits, compliments, Digicel. That lucky person might just be you.
Ever wonder how water goes from its natural source to coming out of our tap crystal clear and safe to drink? Well, let me introduce you to NAWASA! Grenada's National Water and Sewage Authority. They are the water wizards behind it all. Yay! A whopping 95% of all water comes from surface sources. This water might look muddy now, but wait until you see the transformation. First, they add a non-toxic chemical to the water. This brings particles together, forming clumps in a process called coagulation. Next, a gentle stir helps the particles come together. This is called flocculation. Gravity does its thing, and the clumps settle to the bottom. This is sedimentation. Then, the water is passed through a bed of sand. This filtration removes up to 95% of bacteria. See the difference? Now, our water is clear and nearly bacteria-free. Lastly, chlorine is added for disinfection, killing any remaining bacteria and making the water safe to drink. And that, my friends, is how NAWASA brings pure, refreshing water from their surface sources to our pipes, our wash pan, our buckets, whatever you think about.
This advertisement is the first in a series showcasing NAWASA's operations. Stay tuned for more in-depth insights into our services and initiatives.
All right, family. Welcome back to another Mikey Life program. So let's get straight into what's making the news for tonight. Well, today, Mr. Bertrand was laid to rest. You would remember Bertrand was a homicide victim from Grand Royal. Bertrand Joseph Edwards. He worked at the Mungay Institution. Of course, he had some other jobs, of course, you know. So it was a very interesting funeral service. Quite a bit of people attended. A lot of people attended his funeral service that was held in Grand Roy, his hometown, today. Quite a bit of tributes as well. It was really, really, really hard to watch his family members and the people who know both him and the individual who's accused of his death. You know, usually in those small communities, it jolts the community whenever you have incidents like these happening, because we'd appreciate that they both know the same people. They'll have mutual friends, and you know, it just, when I say jolt, in all sense of the word, it jolts the community. So that was a tough one for families, you know, having to experience that funeral service today. All right. We are moving on. So the next thing that we have to tell you about, on your screen, Honorable Delmont Thomas, she has been appointed to serve as the Minister for Youth and Sports. Understand? Yeah, man. So the thing is finalized, and she is also the Minister for Mental Health, Wellness, and Religious Affairs. And that's with a special focus on the Mungay Psychiatric Hospital. And that those are two separate ministries. You understand? So yeah, girl GT. And so those are her portfolios. All right. Speaking of that, yesterday there was a women's conference that was hosted by the New National Party. You understand? And I find a gallic hint. You understand? Find a gallic hint that the party might be heading in the direction of a female leader. You understand? So the event was broadcast live. It was via our platform and others. You can check it out to see if you pick up the same thing that I was picking up. You know what I mean? So yeah, boy. So let's see where that would go. All right, all you. We are moving on. We're sticking. Peace. Police speaks of an apparent drowning. In fact, they've confirmed the occurrence of an apparent drowning, and that occurred on Sunday, 15th September. That was yesterday at Duquesne in St. Mark. Preliminary results suggest that the deceased went swimming when he encountered difficulties in the water. The deceased was discovered on the seashore by friends, and they say that CPR was attempted. They tried to resuscitate the individual. However, they were unable to do so. He was subsequently rushed to the Guave Health Center, St. John, where he was examined and pronounced dead by a medical doctor. Now, the body was later identified as Lane Prince, who was a 69-year-old farmer of industry, St. Mark. And police say that their investigations will continue into that matter, and a postmortem will be conducted to determine the cause of death. Commissioner and the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force say that they'd like to extend condolences to the family and friends of the deceased. But that's a tough one, boy. And this case, I don't know why, but it just reminds me of, remember there's a body that was discovered. Whatever happened to that case? On Grandance Beach, might be about 4 years ago. The tail end of Grandance Beach, the south end. That's the south end, right? Past the hotel, right down in the end. You remember there was a young lady's body that was discovered there a couple years ago? When the postmortem was conducted, it was an early morning, I think. It was an early morning. Anyway, I'll research it. And come back. I don't know why that, while I was reading this, that case came to mind, because I remember that there was some suspicions about, not this one necessarily, but that one, but I never heard anything about it. I think it was the family members who were refuting some things that were being said. I'll remind me, because I know I've been watching Mikey Live from since day one. All right, so it could have been, let's say, 3-4 years ago. All right, so you guys remind me. Somebody send me a message. Just give me a name so I can research that. All right, it just came back to my mind. Just send me a name privately so I can research it, because I know it's a story that we covered a couple years ago. All right, so yeah. So coming back to this now, police say that they are investigating this, and then they will, of course, give us an update when one is available. So postmortem is going to be done, and ting, and they go sort out themselves. All right. Alisa, you remember what I'm talking about, right? Okay. So the next thing that we have to tell you about, boy, the criminal assizes gives me goosebumps whenever I talk about that. The Royal Grenada Police Force, they did a really good job in bringing some people to justice. But then when you get they compile the details and things, it's just chilling. You understand? So, the sitting of the Supreme Court of Grenada is to begin tomorrow. So, one of the cases that will be featured, the 4 police officers involved in the alleged killing of Oscar Bartholomew. Remember, there was something with the trial and they had to retry it. That incident happened on Boxing Day 2011 at the St. David's police station. So they're going back to court. Sean Garnes, Rudy Felix, Wendell Sylvester and Edward Gibson. All right. So they all were charged in connection with the death of Oscar Bartholomew. Case going back to court. Now, 86 cases are listed to be heard in the assizes. Of that amount, again, high incidence of cases surrounding sexual intercourse with a minor. 24, I believe. 24 of the cases. Sexual intercourse with a minor. What in God's name could any man get? What kind of pleasure, my God, from a minor? 24. Check it out. 16 cases to be heard of rape. 16 cases of rape. You understand? 12 incest cases. Incest, having sex with somebody who you are related to. Incest. And in some cases, minors involved in the incest. Most cases, if not all. I don't see them going behind adults who wants to, adult people who wants to do things, whether they brother, sisters, cousin, aunt, nephew. They don't care about that. So I'm sure this has to do with children, minors, again. You understand? 17 murder cases and unknown capital murder. And 2 of arson or fire, burning on people's property. You understand? There's one of those cases that has to do with the cultivation of an online relationship with a child. With disgusting like that. So again, sex cases prevail. You understand? Sex-related cases. Incest. Rape. You understand? Having sex with a minor. My God. And those are cases that are reported and are not being prosecuted. So we're talking about cases where mommy say, don't say nothing. We're talking about cases where the woman is still a little, or the child is still a little too timid, a little too shy to talk. We ain't talking about that yet. We are simply talking about the cases where there is enough evidence to prefer a charge and then that matter going into court. And when you see there is one, multiply that by 3, like COVID. When there's one case reported, multiply that by 3. And that gives you a better outlook. You understand? And making it up. And 3, my friends, is putting it nicely. We disgusting like that. So again, 24. Sexual intercourse with a minor. 16 rapes. 12 incest. 17 murder and or non-capital murder. 2 arson. Cultivating a relationship with a child online. Anyway, maybe a little to me. So let's talk about something a little more positive. We were telling you a couple weeks ago about an initiative that was going to take place on the weekend of the 7th of September. Remember? The cleaning initiative, well, the collecting, not necessarily cleaning, but the collecting of the plastic bottles. You understand? Well, I am happy to report that they've collected, I think, around 1,000 bottles or so to be recycled in that campaign. The previous attempt that happened just a couple months prior, they collected just around 500. So we are seeing that the results are better this time than it was. 100% increase of bottles that were collected and or brought in, because people have to bring in the bottles and stuff like that. So hopefully that's a trend that will continue, because we got to rid our nation of all these bottles. Plastic bottles here, plastic bottles here, plastic blah, 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 blah. You understand? The other day, you know how strict we are about plastic utensils and stuff like that. The other day, I was trying to get some stuff for my son, and I brought in like some paper cups, paper plates and stuff like that, right? And in that, they had the forks that were plastic. And they said, well, I'm sorry, you cannot import plastic into Grenada. I'm like, I wasn't aware that it was plastic in there, because it says it was paper, right? They distribute the company. So somehow they put plastic forks in the business. All right, cool. Fine. And I'm sure these are agreements, that those rules that we are made to abide by are rules that are created by the bigger countries, of course. You understand? The bigger countries, they implement. We want a little funding here and there, we have to agree to them kind of business. But then when you go in the bigger countries, they're inconveniencing themselves like that, you know. And our contribution to pollution or to negatively impacting the environment is almost non-existent compared to what these countries who are asking us to impose, or imposing on us, or who are asking us, no, let me say it better, who are asking us to impose on our own selves these restrictions and bans. They ain't care about that. They ain't doing that. Like I said, they ain't inconveniencing themselves like that. So whereas y'all coming down on the small man here, and coming down on the little small shop and them here for putting sugar in plastic bag and things like that, or giving people bags as grocery bags, the actual plastic bags, them others who telling you not to do it, they ain't care. Our contribution to negatively affecting the environment is almost non-existent. And if you have to compare that to any other country, what we're doing here is what a liquor is compared to what a liquor shop in the mega countries will contribute. A liquor shop, what the whole of Grenada. Then people, listen, the air and the environment is so polluted, you can see it, smell it, and feel it. When you come to Grenada, the place nice, the purity of our air, the freshness of the air that we breathe. Our waters are crystal clear. Our beaches are super clean. Our roadways, the sidewalks and things, it smells nice. It looks nice. It clean. It beautiful. But I want to go over and then people, oh God. Oh God. You understand? But it's we they have strength for. No, you know what? We have strength for ourselves. And maybe one day I would like to have a whole program about how it is we allow others to cause us to impose things on ourselves. You understand? And we abide by that ish like it's gospel. Unfortunately, because they are not willing to make the same sacrifices that they are asking us to make. But we gladly abide. You understand? Anyway, one day we're going to talk about it, because I have to. You know, this last trip, there are so many things that I've seen in this small space of time, you know. Anyway, how are we looking? So the next thing that we have to tell you, I was telling you that the Division of Youth, they are going to be having its inaugural National Youth Election. And so they are saying that after hosting a series of successful parish-level youth parliament sittings during the month of May and June, the division of the Ministry of Youth and Sports is set to host its inaugural national youth election. So at this year's parish level, the youth parliamentarians debated on several topics to deal with, things that are relevant to us now, current affairs and so on. And it was great. So impressed by the level of discourse from the parliamentarians and for the participants, the Division of Youth say that they are ready to go forward with a new initiative that kind of connects to youth parliament. So the national youth election will be a welcomed instrument, they say, that will give youth the opportunity to further understand their role in contributing to the policy discussions of the country and to develop a better future for youth in politics. So in other words, you're not coming young, fresh and green. No, you're at least coming with some understanding of the parliamentary procedures and processes. And now you're gaining a little further experience in terms of what it is to be a politician. And that's good continuity. Sometimes you learn something and you are good at it. And then, it ends right there. But the Ministry of Youth, they have the wisdom in understanding that it might just make sense to stretch this a little bit further and make it a little more comprehensive and holistic. Let's breathe. In fact, let's create the proper breeding ground for good politicians. So I applaud this effort. I applaud this move by the Ministry of Social Development. Listen, that's my ministry too. I just brag and say that because their vision aligns with mine and mine's with theirs, in a sense. You understand? Like when you go into a restaurant or somebody, they just cook the perfect food for you every single time. They just know how to do it, when to do it, and all of that. That's what I feel about the Ministry of Social Development. You understand? This just, to me, gets it right all the time. You understand? So yes, big up to the entire team. So anyway, they have some candidates that will be going forward as a parliamentarian. So they've got for the various constituencies. So they're mimicking the elections, like the real election. You understand? So I find that makes sense. I find it makes sense. Well, all fine. All fine. For St. Andrew Southeast, Amanda, Japal George, and Kevon George. St. Andrew Southwest, Zadie Barry, and Cameron Sincere. St. Andrew Northeast, Emerson Caliste and Karian Maras. St. Andrew Northwest, Derica Samuel and Joshua Andel. St. Patrick East, Asha McEwen, Sylvester and Shanida, Shade. I'm trying to twist something more than a twist already. Tongue twister. St. Patrick West, Zinzi Noel and Sean Williams. St. Mark, Akim Philip, Tawana Scott and Kyle Cyrus. For St. John, Sashana McVean and Elon James. St. David, Antonia Coutain and Tariq Miller. St. George Northeast, Kwesi Pop and Akim Williams. St. George Northwest, Jamal Mitchell and Angela Bowen. St. George South, Symphony Lord and Veronique Lewis. St. George Southeast, Giovanna Mark and Jonathan Mitchell. And for the town of St. George, Ramia Griffith and Melissa Julian. These are your youth parliamentarians, and they'll engage in activities like national general election, the whole work. And I think they are going to be getting financial support so that they can prepare for the campaign and all of that, like the real thing. And I like that. That's cool for our parliamentarians, right? So we must create some sort of avenue that shapes our future politicians. So when they're going in, like I said, they're not young, fresh and green, and not because we like them, and not because we like their parents or because they have money or they have skin color, but there's something more that merits, you understand, their involvement in the political discourse. So I like it. Right, we're moving on. I think we are running out of time, so I'd just like to kind of like accelerate a little bit. St. Marshall Community College, they have a new principal. All right, so this is the picture, the of the principal. He is a Grenadian, for those of you who are wondering. I know that's the first thing that comes to mind, Mr. Andrew Abraham. All right, yes, he has been the principal since the 1st of September. All right, so yeah, organize the business. We'll post something on our website about that to give you more details about him. Okay, what else do we have to tell you? I think we're good for now. Okay, we're good for now because we are out of time, and I'm gonna come back tomorrow, God's willing, with some other stories. Like I said, I had some things on the list for us for agriculture, but I think it really isn't time sensitive. So we can talk about that. We will talk about that tomorrow, God's willing, if you permit me. All right, please. All right. So what else do we have for you? Yeah, we had to, and again, for those of you who missed it, we had to readjust our program just a little bit to facilitate the lengthy national report that we've been getting of late. Okay, so we have just moved things around just a little bit, and then we're going to monitor and see how we can move forward. But for now, it's a temporary adjustment because still we're trying to get a sweet spot. You understand? So we beg your understanding where that is concerned. So what is going to happen now is that we are going to get into the weather, and then we're going to pick up a few people. I'm going to leave and monitoring the NR, and of course, we're going to be watching it together. You understand? If you will, like I said, forgive me for reordering things a bit. So when it comes to the weather, we can tell you that the weather is expected to be partly cloudy with light isolated showers becoming more frequent by early morning. So our max temperature, minimum temperature for tonight, 25 degrees Celsius. Winds easterly to southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas slight to moderate with waves 3 to 5 feet in open waters. Heading over to Tuesday's weather, we can tell you that it is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with occasional showers and a low chance of isolated thunder showers. Max temperature for Tuesday, 31.5 degrees Celsius, minimum 25. Winds easterly to southeasterly at 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting higher with showers. Seas slight to moderate with waves 3 to 5 feet in open waters. I'm not going to jump the gun here, but what I can tell you based on the weather pattern for this week, we might just end up victims of another heat wave. All right, so be guided accordingly. I'm not calling it. I'm saying if things continue tomorrow and the following, we might just become, we might find ourselves with an alert, with a heat wave alert from the Met Office. So keep your antennas up for that. All right. Before we wrap him up, we had to big up all the people who are currently on YouTube. So we've got Devon. What's going on, Devon? Marcus, Hillary, Laverne, my mom, Lintona. Who else? Keith, Leonora, and every other person who's always on there on YouTube watching, whatever device you're watching on, your TV, whatever. Blessings to you. We've got Java working hard as usual to invite persons to like and share. We've got Laverne again. We've got Richie. All right. We've got Adonna. So, what me that say? All know the heat wave on me. Yvonne, Barbara, Adonna. Yes, Adonna. Yes, Richie. I see you. Jacinta, Liz, always there. Joseph Ross, always there. Jane, Shum, Ansha, how are you doing? Aisha, or Isha, how are you? Well, I know. Kirin, appreciation to you as well. Randy, and everybody else, blessings to you, all right? Blessings, 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 blessings. So, we are taking that break, and when we come back, we will have for you the national report. Stay right there.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are superb distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love. Like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Infinite Contractors and Machinery. We are your one-stop engineering and consultancy company with experience locally, regionally, and internationally. We provide excavation services and engineering consultancy, construction of residential and commercial structures, civil works such as drainage, retaining walls, roads, concrete patio services, paving services, concrete driveway services, remodeling and renovation, painting services, styling services, and so much more. Ask about our rental services of excavators, heavy equipment, metal formwork, and steel prop. Contact us today via telephone number 537-9675 or email infinitecontractors19@gmail.com.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches, and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen, Guess, and Klein, and G-Shock, all at the best prices in Grenada. We also buy scrap gold and offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit our brand new remodeled store or call us on telephone number 414-3114, 232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only.
Anywhere at any time and have it delivered to you right here in Grenada at yogo.gd.
This is the GIS News for Monday, September 16th, 2024. I am Rakisha St. Louis. In the headlines, United Kingdom to expand digital travel to Grenadians and other visitors. And the Ministry of Agriculture warns against price gouging. We'll have details to these stories and more when we return.
for hurricane. Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. Your hair, prepare for hurricane.
Welcome back. Resident British Commissioner to Grenada, Victor Clark, says Grenadians and other visitors will require electronic travel authorization to travel to the United Kingdom. This is part of measures by the UK government to digitize the UK border and immigration system, enhance security and improve the experience for visitors. By April 2025, all visitors who do not need a visa will need an electronic travel authorization to travel to the UK. ETAs are digitally linked to one's passport and ensure more robust security checks before the journey to the United Kingdom.
This will apply to all Grenadian passport holders wishing to visit the UK, along with all the visitors from another 83 countries who currently enjoy visa-free access to the UK. ETAs are not visas. Visitors who currently need a visa to visit the UK will continue to need a visa. This is all part of wider improvements to deliver a more streamlined digital immigration system, which will be quicker and more secure for the millions of people who pass through the UK border each year.
November 27, 2024, eligible non-Europeans can apply for an ETA and will need an ETA to travel from January 8, 2025. Commissioner Clark explained that the process from application to approval is approximately 3 days.
Grenadians can obtain further information and apply online through gov.uk or through our official ETA app. All Grenadians can apply from 27th of November onwards and will need an ETA to enter the UK for a visit from 8th of January 2025. ETAs will cost £10 per applicant, with a decision usually received within 3 working days.
An ETA permits multiple entries for a stay up to 6 months at a time over 2 years.
An ETA will be valid for 2 years or until passport expiry, whichever is soonest, and allow multiple visits up to 6 months per visit. Grenadians planning to study or settle in the UK will still need to apply for a visa, as they do currently.
The introduction of ETAs is in line with the approach many other countries have taken to border security, including the US and Australia. Members of the Planning and Development Authority are currently in Carriacou to conduct various assessments on homes and other buildings as government commences the rebuilding process post-Hurricane Beryl. The authority has organized a series of meetings with contractors and stakeholders to advise on the implementation of building codes and standards that are durable and able to withstand stronger disasters. Houston Elcock, Senior Developer, says the intention is to implement best practices into building structures.
So we're doing inspections to houses that is being reconstructed, mainly roof. We're looking at the method that builders are using to reconstruct the roof, right? We're looking at the best practice that could afford a better, how should I say, protection for hurricane, right? And in instances where person need to upgrade a present roof to withstand a higher grade of a category of hurricane, we could also give those type of advice also.
The application fee for some residents of Carriacou and Petit Martinique will be waived. Elcock explains. We
realize what is happening. Everybody is more or less devastated and persons need to get their home back in order, right? So we waive in some of the fees for submission of the application, right? The fees we are waiving, not the application. So we want persons to at least submit the drawings to us so that we could do the assessment to make sure that it is in accordance to our building guidelines and our building codes. So you submit your drawings. We know instances where persons may not able to come up with a drawing, and I don't want to put myself on the spot here, but we're trying to see how we could work something so vulnerable persons could get that assistance.
Ruben Ross, Development Control Officer and the focal point for Carriacou and Petite Martinique, said the Planning and Development Authority will establish a sub-office on the island to promote continuous support and monitoring and evaluation of buildings.
We will be setting up, we are in the process of doing it, a sub-office in the town of Hillsborough in the resource center. That will be a temporary location to facilitate the needs of both Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Right, because there's an increased need for PDA presence up here. Since after the Hurricane Beryl, we noticed that it has destroyed over 90%, or I should say over 90% of the structures in Carriacou sustained damage. So that highlights the need for a PDA office up here to facilitate the rebuilding process, to monitor and effectively manage and educate the public on proper building procedures and practices so that we wouldn't have a repeat of that level of devastation.
Over 400 young men were introduced to the fourth phase of the Empower project. Empower 4.0, a project of the Ministry of Youth and Sports through the Division of Youth, was launched at the Grenada Trade Center on Friday, September 13th. The Empower project caters to young men who are unemployed, underemployed, marginalized, and in conflict with the law, who are interested in certified training in various marketable skill areas to increase their chances of meaningful employment or entrepreneurship. A number of government ministers were present to give support to the project and this cohort of young men. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Kim Frederick, says the Empower program will significantly contribute to the reduction of unemployment of young males and welcomes the rolling out of this cohort of young men being enrolled in the project.
The aim of the program is to effect behavioral change, foster employment readiness, empowerment, and resilience of the trainees. Based on the 2021 second quarter labor force survey published by the Central Statistical Office, the total unemployment rate for male was 14.2%, but it was 36.2% for the age group of 15 to 24 and 10.7% for the age group of 25 to 64. From that data, we can deduce that the unemployment rate was more than 36.2% for the age group of 16 to 35, which is the age range for the Empower program. Against that background, I wish to applaud the government of Grenada for rolling out this cohort of 461 Empower participants who will be given an opportunity to enhance their skills or to learn a new skill of their interest. And I must add, with certification so that they can be gainfully employed or be competent enough to create their own businesses.
Minister for Youth Honorable Delma Thomas describes the Empower project as a beacon of hope for Grenadian young men, offering the skills, mentorship, and support needed to unlock their full potential.
Empower 4.0 is not just another government program. It's a lifeline for those who need a second chance. It's designed specifically for young men who may face challenges in finding their footing in the job market. This program equips you with the skills, discipline, and confidence to step into the workforce and take charge of your future. In this phase of Empower, we will focus on personal development, mentorship, and skill building in areas that help prepare you for the workforce. The goal is not just to provide job readiness, but to foster a deeper sense of purpose and responsibility, ensuring that you become leaders in your communities and productive members of society. While today we celebrate the launch of Empower 4.0, I must take a moment to acknowledge that this is part of a much broader effort by the government to invest in the future of our young people.
Newly appointed Senator and Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Senator Seville Francis, encouraged the young men to take advantage of the benefits of Empower 4.0. She says the name of the program should act as a motivating mechanism for them to do their best.
When I hear the word empower, I hear two things. I hear empowerment and I hear men power. I'm not sure if anyone else pulled that every time you hear empower, but for me, every time I hear it, that is what comes to mind. And men, I want to speak directly to you. Men power. Men, you have the power to empower. Can I hear you repeat that? Men, you have the power to empower. Men, you have the power to empower. Men, you have the power to lead. Men, you have the power to lead, influence, and change. Men, you have the power to create a future that your sons and your nephews can be proud of. Men, you have the power to change the narrative that society confines you to. Men, take note for a second this important initiative that you are a part of. The opportunity that you have here, do not take it for granted. Do not see it as a mere opportunity just to go through another program, but see it as an opportunity to create generational wealth in a different capacity. And oftentimes when we hear generational wealth, we think about house and land and all of the tangible things. But I want to implore upon you to remember that generational wealth could simply mean creating a generation that those coming behind you can be proud of and can survive and thrive in.
A men's talk was incorporated into the launch, facilitated by leading male experts covering topics such as empowering for a balanced life and empowering men for a healthy life. This is the GIS News. When we return, Ministry of Health reports significant progress in improving healthcare delivery.
If there's one thing we know for sure, life is an unpredictable journey, full of twists and turns, but no matter where it takes you, the National Insurance Scheme is here, ready to support you every step of the way. Sickness benefits ensures that you can focus on recovery, not financial stress. Maternity allowance and grant provides essential support to start your beautiful journey of parenthood. The unemployment benefits act as a safety net, giving you peace of mind during challenging times. Employment injuries can be daunting, but NIS provides comprehensive coverage, including injury benefit, medical expenses, disablement, and death benefits. At NIS, your well-being is priority. Now you can face challenges confidently, knowing that support is just a claim away. Contact us today to find out more about the range of benefits or visit our website at www.nisgrenada.org.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health is reassuring the public that while progress may seem slow on the surface, substantial strides are being made to enhance the delivery of healthcare across the nation. In a recent statement, the ministry highlighted several key initiatives and improvements that are currently underway. Ongoing training programs for healthcare professionals to ensure that nursing and medical staff are equipped with the latest knowledge and skills to address emerging health challenges. So far, 4 nurses have received specialist training in areas of post-basic psychiatric nursing, nephrology nursing, operating room nursing, and intensive care nursing. The ministry facilitated the training of 6 doctors over the past few months in Cuba, Guyana, and Jamaica. Recently, the ministry partnered with the Grenada Medical and Dental Council in facilitating the training of 4 additional doctors attached to the Accident and Emergency Department of the General, Princess Alice, and Princess Royal Hospitals in the area of acute trauma and life support. Significant internal planning is happening for the purpose of upgrading healthcare facilities, ensuring they are equipped and smarted to withstand natural disasters such as cyclones. Major work will begin in 2025. The ministry is actively promoting community health initiatives, including vaccination drives, health screenings, and wellness programs aimed at improving overall public health. These include the ongoing dental and community health outreach programs in Carriacou and on mainland Grenada. Through the Health Promotions Department, efforts to engage and educate the public on health matters have intensified. These include campaigns to raise awareness about preventative measures and healthy lifestyle choices, dengue, oropouche, and formerly monkeypox. Grenada was one of the first countries in the region to launch its public education campaign on the 2 trending international public health threats. The journey towards a fully optimized health care system is ongoing. These positive strides reflect the ministry's and government's dedication to continuously improving and making it public for all Grenadians. The Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources is urging against the unreasonable increase in food prices due to the shortage of certain items following the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Since the hurricane struck on July 1st, causing significant damage to the island's primary agricultural region, St. Andrew, St. Patrick, and St. Mark, there have been notable shortages of crops such as green bananas and other banana family produce, as well as common vegetables. When these items are available in supermarkets and markets, their prices have been excessively high, leading to numerous complaints from consumers. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Isaac Bagwan, is urging farmers to refrain from such practices.
Things that normally would cost, $3-4, you've seen it, being sold in the supermarkets and various markets and by the side of the roads for extremely high prices. So we want to ask farmers and those involved to be reasonable in this regard. Yes, we do have a shortage, but at the same time, we do not want people to take advantage of each other and to be reasonable. The other thing that have come to our attention, which again is a major concern, is the issue of predatory larceny. Yeah. So the few people that do have certain products, they basically have to be on guard over it. And we notice with pears and everything else, a serious levels of predatory larceny. So again, we want to encourage persons to desist from that practice because again, it is affecting everybody, and of course, with everything else, that would drive up the cost of the food, and so we want to, raise that concern, these 2 concerns in particular.
Acting Chief Extension Officer Lawrence St. Louis reports that the island is experiencing a recovery in its vegetable production.
These are easier, it takes a lot less time for a cabbage to grow than for a nutmeg tree or for a banana tree to grow, and so we are getting back to having our vegetables and vine crops or root crops. Most of them, the damage that they may have sustained, if they sustain any damages, would have been from water or flooding, some of those kind of things, but not really from being destroyed. So we still have some of those. So we do have some shortages. Bananas, we've had quite a bit of requests to import from the region, but even in the region, because of Hurricane Beryl, the other islands also do not have, and so everybody is trying to get back up to speed.
She encouraged the people to increase their consumption of locally grown vegetables rather than relying on imported processed foods. Ronald Theodore, CEO of the Grenada Investment Development Corporation, GIDC, says the organization's investment promotion unit is actively receiving and processing investment applications. GIDC manages 3 business parks in Grenada, which currently houses over 60 tenants. The investment promotion unit provides incentives to investors locally and regionally. Theodore spoke to GIS recently, highlighting the ongoing success of this initiative.
For the past year, we have been very active in several areas. If I take the investment promotion aspect first, so we continue to facilitate investments. We will have received several applications for incentives because we do process applications for incentives. So for instance, the end of 2023, we had like a total about 68 applications for investment incentives. And we will be able to provide investment incentive support to about 61 of these applicants. Yeah. Now, there are priority sectors for investment. There are 5 priority sectors for investment: tourism, health and wellness, agribusiness, ICT, and energy. So the investors in those particular sectors are the ones that we're able to provide incentive support, right? So we are pleased to see an increase in the number of applications that have come in.
GIDC's services have mainly attracted the attention of the tourism sector through FDIs.
In terms of where we've been seeing some traffic in terms of businesses taking place over 2023 and even for 2024. Yes, the tourism accommodation sector continues to attract FDIs, and we definitely need additional room stock on island. We are pleased to see the likes of Six Senses operational, and also the Intercontinental project that is under construction at the moment. We saw the beach house becoming operational as well. So yes, we have received these FDIs from these hotel projects, and we are pleased to have facilitated them in some form or fashion. From the SME side, right, we continue to see a lot of cottage type industries, persons getting involved in manufacturing, jams and jellies, condiments, dry fruits.
Theodore said GIDC has assisted over 50 businesses with startup assistance. This is one of the projects that GIDC has ongoing.
As it relates to businesses commencing operations, so by the end of 2023, we had about 50 businesses that we have facilitated with incentive support commencing operation, providing just about 278 jobs. Yeah, so those are the projects that we have facilitated during that period. We have several projects in the pipeline that are facilitating, so they have not become operational, but they are in implementation at the moment. So we continue to work with those respective projects and these clients, because our aim is to work with them from an idea stage, right, to development stage of the project. So we play a critical role where it is concerned.
This is the GIS News. When we return, we'll join Leslie and Johnson for the sports highlights.
For climate change, what is Grenada going to experience? Going to experience water shortage. It's going to experience, particularly after storms, hurricanes, the NAWASA system is going to break down, and you will need water in between. Rainwater harvesting could help. So rainwater harvesting is not only about getting water for drinking or for use. It is also about minimizing flooding and flood control.
Are you thinking about buying a vehicle? Did you find a company on social media? Stop. It may be a scam. Look out for the following red flags. Is the price lower than other dealers? Does it seem too good to be true? Are you sending the monies to the US even though you are ordering the vehicle from Japan? Does the address on the invoice match the address on the payment details? Are conversations limited to WhatsApp text? Is there a sense of urgency placed on you by the seller? You are about to be scammed. Do not take your hard-earned cash or even worse, a loan to send to these scammers. Once the money leaves Grenada's shores, you are not likely to get it back. Consider buying a vehicle already on island from an individual or a car dealer. Beware of these scammers. If in doubt, it's best to stay out. A message from the Financial Intelligence Unit.
Grenada's Olympic bronze medalist Anderson Peters claimed victory in men's javelin at the Diamond League final in Brussels over the weekend. Peters threw 87.87 meters on his first attempt to take the top spot. He was closely followed by Olympic silver medalist Neeraj Chopra of India, who threw a distance of 87.86 meters in his third attempt. 1 day prior, Olympic medalist Kirani James finished second in the 400-meter at the Diamond League final with a time of 44.63 seconds. Livron Thorne and Annalisa Brong are the winners of the first preliminary round of competition in the Ministry of Youth and Sports Blue Bubbles National Cross Country, which was held at SAS Playing Field in St. Andrew on Saturday. Thorne ran the almost 15-kilometer race with a time of 24 minutes 14.55 seconds, and Annalisa Brong of Boca Secondary School won the female category with a time of 31 minutes 35.97 seconds. Placing second in the male division was Keith Charles of Grenada Christian Academy and third, Jamie Romaine of ACE. Second in the female category was Soraya Phillip of Boca Secondary School and third, Peaches Panchu of MacDonald College. First, second and third placed participants received trophies for their performances. Coordinator of Sports Curlin Peters is pleased with the turnout at the first preliminary round, which registered participation from close to 150 athletes, 80 female, 67 male, the largest number in recent years recorded at the St. Andrew location. He said this speaks well for track and field.
I also noticed that there are a lot more primary schools taking part than the secondary schools, although there are a lot of primary schools. But it's happy to see they come out, you know. The cross country, if you look at the period now, we start a month earlier, so we give it a general preparation period. We start working on the endurance base. So a lot of athletes, more athletes and students will come out now, and ensure all this start to the track and field season, and all this start to organize school coaching program. So we're looking forward to a wonderful season this year, with a start like that, you know. And we must say they'll be getting trophies each race. Each race. We are in Las Vegas next week, please the Lord. We want to say thanks to Blue Bubble for his support this year and previous years. And we are happy to be here. These kids have fun. The route was exciting and challenging, but they donated in a good time. So we could see the training will continue with the coaches are here, and we'll have a very good season this year.
Close to the end of the race, the showers came down, but that did not stop the athletes from completing.
It was a real hot race, so for the runners, you know, it helped cool them down. So it helped give them the extra strength and the extra endurance they needed to complete the race. So it was a good reason to help with the athletes as they prepare to finish. Some of them get soaked, and they will change and they will go home and reach down, and they'll be okay. They'll be okay. But
Mr. Peters said the cross country is an event for the participation of all athletes and is often described as the base sport since it helps to build strength and endurance. He encourages athletes of other sporting disciplines to consider participating in the national cross country.
The cross country is not only for athletics, you do it as your base for all your sport. So we should be, the netball player should be here, your football team should be here, your cricketers should be here, together with the athletes are preparing. So it's a base, a general base preparation for all sports. So
2 more preliminary races will be staged before the final in October. Those desirous of participating in the final must compete in at least 2 of the preliminaries in order to qualify. The next race will be held at Las Vegas on Saturday, September 21st, and the third the following Saturday, September 28th. All preliminary races begin at 3 p.m. Transportation for this weekend's race is available from 1 p.m. from the gas station in Guave, Deluxe Cinema in Grenville, and Kirani James Athletic Stadium car park in St. George. Registration will be done on site. The 2024 season of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Star Malt Secondary Schools football tournament has begun. Champ of Champs, a new aspect to the competition, signaled the start to the 2024 matches. It featured a match between the 2023 knockout winner, MacDonald College, and the 2023 league winner, Boca Secondary School, at Progress Park in St. Andrew on Friday. The match ended 1-1 at regular time. However, Boca Secondary School won by penalty 5-4 to MacDonald College. MVP went to Anthony Charles of Boca.
The Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, in collaboration with the NAP Global Network and the G-Cruise Project, presents Everyone in Action for Climate Change Adaptation, a series of community meetings on climate change adaptation and resilience. Here are the dates to remember. Starting at 5 p.m., Monday 9th September, Mount Craven Community Center, St. Patrick. Wednesday 11th September, Grenville Secondary School, St. Andrew. Thursday, 12th September, St. John Anglican School, Guave for St. John and St. Mark. Monday, 16th September, The Canal, St. David. Tuesday, 17th September, Boca Secondary School, St. George. And on Friday, 20th September at 10 a.m., we'll be in Carriacou at the Mermaid Hotel. Let's talk climate change. Let's talk adaptation. Let's talk resilience. See you there.
Well, at this time of the year, we do expect rainfall events because we will be affected by systems such as tropical wave passing through. We will have the presence of the ITCZ in our area, and we might even have tropical cyclones, whether it's depression or storm. Okay? So what we would expect is we will have big rain events. Okay? No matter how dry or wet the season is, we are going to have big rain events. So therefore it is important for every household to have some bit of water stored, because these big rain events normally put us pressure on the NAWASA system. For example, we have landslides that will take away pipes. We may have heavy rainfall that will block the dams and so forth, and so your regular supply will be interrupted. So it is so important for every household to have the recommended 3 days storage of potable water in the household for such eventualities.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Let's recap the top story. United Kingdom to expand digital travel to Grenadians and other visitors, and the Ministry of Agriculture warns against the price gouging. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us.